He gave roses to strangers, coworkers, even women he barely knew, but I, his wife of 20 years, never received a single one. I'm 45 now, and this is the truth I avoided for too long. I watched him come home smiling, empty-handed, while other women posted pictures of the flowers he gave them. I told myself it didn't matter. That love was bigger than roses, but every time I said that, something inside me quietly broke. If you're listening right now, please don't scroll, because what happened after I finally spoke up is something I wish I had known years earlier. My name is Sarah. I'm 45 years old and I live in Australia. I work a regular office job. Nothing fancy, just enough to keep the house running. I've been married for over 20 years. I'm a mother, and for most of my life, I believed that holding everything together was my responsibility. People see me as calm, practical, and strong, the kind of woman who doesn't ask for much. I thought love was about patience, not expectations. I thought staying quiet was the same as being mature. From the outside, my marriage looked stable, safe, predictable, but inside, there was one small thing I kept telling myself didn't matter. One feeling I kept swallowing, one silence that slowly turned into my biggest regret. I didn't realize that ignoring a small hurt could lead to a life-changing mistake. And by the time I understood it, it was already too late. Every morning, I'd wake up before anyone else in the house. I'd make coffee, pack lunches, and make sure everything was ready for the day. My husband, Tom, would roll out of bed, kiss me on the cheek, and head to work. I never expected grand gestures from him. That wasn't how our marriage worked. I thought love was in the little things, the quiet mornings, the shared routines, the sense of stability. But slowly things began to feel off. At first, it was tiny things. A text from an unknown number flashing on his phone. A sudden late night at work. I told myself I was imagining it. I trusted him. Then came the roses. At first, it was innocent. A co-worker received flowers on her birthday. How nice, I told myself. It's just a friendly gesture. And I smiled when he showed me a picture on his phone. A few weeks later, another bouquet appeared on the desk of a woman at his office. Again, I said nothing. I rationalized it. Maybe he was just being polite. Maybe I was overthinking. At home, I started noticing a pattern. He would return from work tired but happy, humming a tune, texting someone under the table while I washed the dishes. Every time I asked, he laughed it off. Work stuff, he'd say. I began to shrink in my own house. I stopped asking for small things like flowers or surprise notes. I told myself I wasn't entitled to them. I didn't want to seem needy. I wanted to be the perfect wife who could endure without complaint. Then there were the birthdays and anniversaries. Every year, I reminded myself to keep my expectations low. But still nothing, not a card, not a rose, not even a small gesture. Meanwhile, I kept seeing pictures on social media of him giving flowers to other women, smiling, hugging, laughing. I noticed how he'd sometimes come home with a sparkle in his eyes. That wasn't for me. I questioned myself endlessly. Was I too busy, too tired, not romantic enough every time? I blamed myself. I convinced myself it was my fault. Little by little, I stopped sharing my feelings entirely. I stopped asking for help. I stopped expecting love. I convinced myself that my marriage was about endurance, not happiness. I also ignored the small red flags, the lingering glances at his phone, the extra hours at work, the excuses for being late. Each time I told myself, it's nothing, don't overreact. But the nothing kept piling up. I tried to find comfort elsewhere, in my children, in my job, in small hobbies. But every time I saw him laughing with another woman or giving someone else the attention I craved, a cold ache ran through me. I remember one particular evening. I cooked his favorite dinner. I lit candles. I wore the dress I knew he liked. And yet, when he walked in, he barely noticed. He checked his phone, smiled at a message, then kissed me quickly on the cheek. My heart sank. I told myself, it's fine, don't make a scene. The next week, I discovered he'd sent a bouquet of roses to a colleague's birthday. Not just once, but several times over the past months, I stared at the pictures, frozen, thinking, why not me? Why never me? I didn't confront him. I didn't scream. I didn't cry in front of him. I waited, hoping, praying, denying. Months passed. Each time I saw him hand a rose to someone else, my chest tightened. My smile grew smaller. My laughter felt forced. My home, once warm, began to feel like a museum of my own sacrifices. I also ignored my friends' gentle warnings. They, Sarah, this isn't normal. I nodded and laughed it off. I didn't want to admit the reality. I didn't want to see what I was really ignoring. Even the small moments of tenderness at home began to feel hollow. Hugs were quick. Conversations were brief. I waited for him to notice me, to choose me, but he never did. I told myself patience was love, silence was love, endurance was love. I kept thinking, if I'm patient, if I'm loyal, maybe it will change. Maybe he will wake up one day and see me. That belief blinded me. That belief made me stay in a pattern that was slowly crushing me. I remember sitting alone one night, staring at a vase of flowers I had bought for myself. They were wilted by morning, and I realized I had become invisible, not just to him, but to myself. I even started questioning my own worth. Was I not beautiful enough, not smart enough, not lovable enough to deserve a single rose from the man I had given my whole life to? Each thought was a knife twisting deeper. And still, I did nothing. I didn't confront him. I didn't leave. I didn't cry in front of him. I waited, hoping, praying, denying. Every ignored warning, every swallowed feeling. Every excuse I made led me closer to a moment I wasn't ready for. a moment that would shatter everything I thought I knew about love, loyalty, and myself. It was the night he finally brought someone else home, the night I realized that my silence, my endurance, my patience had not saved our marriage. And in that instant, I felt the weight of every choice I had ignored, every warning I had brushed aside, every small hurt I had denied. That night I came home early from work, hoping to surprise him with dinner, only to find the front door slightly open. My heart stopped. Inside, I saw him, my husband, laughing and handing a bouquet of red roses to another woman. I froze, my body trembling. My chest felt like it had been crushed, and I couldn't breathe. All the years I had poured into this marriage, my time, my energy, my love felt wasted in an instant. I sat on the couch, staring at the scene, my hands shaking, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. "Sarah, I didn't expect you home," he said casually, as if nothing mattered, as if I were invisible. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run. I wanted to cry until my lungs gave out. Instead, I whispered to myself, "How did it come to this?" The shame was unbearable. I had convinced myself for years that patience was love, that silence was strength. Now I realized I had lost not just him, but pieces of myself too. My confidence, my trust, my peace. The woman left eventually, smiling, and he turned to me, trying to explain, "It's not what you think." But I couldn't hear him. I couldn't move. I felt utterly alone, terrified of the life I had allowed myself to accept, haunted by the truth I had ignored for so long. I remember clutching the wilted flowers I had bought for myself earlier that day, and in that moment, I understood the full weight of my mistake. I had waited too long, said too little, and now everything I thought I could hold onto was slipping through my fingers. Speak, don't stay silent when something hurts you. If you feel ignored, unappreciated, or unseen, tell the person how you feel. Waiting only makes the problem bigger and harder to fix. VALUOUROWN never let anyone make you feel invisible. You deserve love, respect, and attention, and it's okay to expect it. If you don't stand up for yourself, no one else will. Smemels IGN Smatar, don't ignore little red flags or patterns that make you uncomfortable. Tiny problems today can turn into huge regrets tomorrow if left unchecked. PRIOR happiness, love is important, but your peace and joy matter too. Don't sacrifice your well-being for the idea of patience or endurance. Take care of yourself first. TRUSTUSTAOs, none ought words. People show who they truly are through what they do, not what they say. Pay attention to actions and don't settle for empty promises or excuses. If you are watching this and you are under 45, please don't wait to speak up when something doesn't feel right in your relationships. Don't let small hurts pile up. Don't let someone give attention to everyone else while forgetting you. because those quiet moments of being overlooked can turn into years of regret. Please remember, your feelings matter, your time matters, and your heart matters. Don't stay silent hoping things will change on their own. Pay attention to the little signs, and don't ignore what you truly need. Today, do one small thing for yourself. Call someone you trust and share how you feel, or simply take a moment to acknowledge your worth. Stand up for your happiness, even in the smallest way. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more stories like this, you can subscribe. Your heart deserves to be seen, loved, and respected. Don't wait until it's too late.